What's up, YouTube? This is Lord Zath bringing you another replay. This time, a Myoko, Tier 7 Japanese cruiser. And, looks like this is a Tier 8 battle. Tier 7 is quickly becoming my personal favorite tier. It keeps me away from Tier 10 ships, for one. And it also often finds me as either middle tier or upper tier in a lot of tier 5 games. So anyway, let's talk about this here. This is I think his name is Admiral Franz something Gunther. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Anyway, let's talk about the ship here. So this is a tier 7 Japanese cruiser, the Myoko. This is a clone of it. You can't get this ship now. Maybe in the future you could, but you could definitely research it and get up to it. So some things about the ship. He's running the blue steel flag, of course, which is awesome. This is from a really fun anime called Arpeggio of Blue Steel, and he's running one signal flag, and I believe that is the anti-air signal flag. So 10% DPS to anti-air. That's kind of important because we see that there's a Saipan on the enemy team, so this might come in handy. Alright, let's talk about other things about this ship. So, as a Japanese cruiser, it's got torpedoes. You can see them sticking out right there. Oops, actually, you know what? Let's do this. Let's go on an adventure. Okay, so we've got some very strong torpedoes right there, with pretty decent arcs. These are 10-kilometer torpedoes, so they're great at basically shooting at or firing at ships that are chasing you when you're in this Myoko. And they're wonderful tools. Even if you die, a lot of times you'll still get a torpedo hit or kill. You could be like, ha! And that gets you the, it's just a flesh wound medal. And whenever I get that, I always yell out, justice! And people get upset, but it's okay. So, anyway, the other thing about this ship is the guns. It's got 5 dual gun turrets, so 10 total guns. You'll see the arrangement. 2 turrets are facing forward, and 3 turrets are facing rear. Now, what that means, coupled with the torpedoes, is that this ship is the kind of ship that wants to be chased. I'll repeat that. This is the kind of ship that wants to be chased. So, if you're playing the Myoko, and you are aggressively pushing about 2 or 3 enemy targets, you're doing it wrong. You want them to be pushing you. You want to be kind of wiggling your butt and laughing as they try to hit you and miss you, and firing off your torpedoes and laughing maniacally as they hit some minute and a half later. That's how you want to play this ship. The HE, high explosive shells, are very powerful, very strong, good alpha damage, and a very good chance of setting fires. The AP, alpha armor piercing, are also really strong when you're up close against a broadside, sometimes battleship, but definitely against a broadside cruiser. So the AP is definitely not to be forgotten too. And last but not least, let's take a look at the consumable choices. We see premium damage control party, premium defensive fire, and premium scout fighter. Typically, premium consumables is a good idea. They're relatively inexpensive to run, so you might as well run them. Especially damage control, and I think definitely the scout or the fighter, catapult fighter will help too, because it'll circle the plane, spot torpedoes, spot ships, all that good stuff. And defensive fire can be useful if you know you're going into getting into a battle with a carrier. In this case, he had no idea, so he just kind of got lucky, I guess, in a sense, and found a carrier. But a lot of times, if you're divisioning with somebody who's in a carrier, defensive fire is a good idea. Alright, so we're going to go back to standard speed now. It is Admiral Franz von Hipper. There we go. Alright. He is doing something very smart right now. He is communicating with his carrier and saying he's got defensive fire. And that's important because that tells the carrier, hey, if he's being chased by enemy fighters, if his bombers are being chased, they can go right over Hipper and boom. Okay? Franz, Franz von Hipper. God, such a long name. Shorten that, please. Anyway, Admiral Franz von Hipper is communicating also and saying, hey guys, let's stick together. This is a situation with carriers. We need to be careful. We also take a look at the battle. This is a standard battle, which means that there's one capture point there, one capture point here. If either team captures the other point, game over, right? But that's it. Oftentimes on this kind of mode, you end up with lemming trains. Everybody's like, hey, let's go this way, or hey, let's go this way. And they completely ignore the opposite side. They get capped out, and then the game's over, and everybody's yelling at each other. So that's kind of annoying, but it happens. Alright, so anyway, we see communication, that's very important at the beginning of the game. We see a Benson that's probably going to get dropped on by the torpedo bombers. Sigh. Okay. And we also see people with interesting comments like that. Benson survived the first torpedo drop and the second. That's really good. Probably because those fighters were in place there to help out. And you can see how Admiral Franz von Hipper is trying to close the distance so his anti-air can get in on the action too, right? So he can help shoot his guns. Now his anti-air, can I see? I thought I could. Maybe I can do it this way. Nope, I guess not. I'm trying to hold the H key, because H key will tell you some statistics about the ship in terms of anti-air and stuff. It's not showing it here. When fully max build, I want to say it's 7.2 kilometers of range if you've got advanced fire training, and then you've got the anti-air upgrade module on the ship. I could be wrong. I apologize in advance if I am a little inaccurate with that statement. Anyway, Admiral Franz von Hipper managed to get a clean kill, so that's good. Now look where he is right now. He's kind of gotten himself a little screwed in chasing that fighter, or those fighters. Now he's at a position where the New Mexico has shots on him, the Fuso might have shots on him, and there's like 2 or 3 other ships that are currently not spotted that definitely have shots on him. So that's a concern. But he is shooting the Aoba, okay. Personally, oh, he DCP'd, okay. I was gonna say, I would have shot the New Mexico because the guy was on fire still at the time. Oh, Bayern. Now, personally, what I would do now is not keep shooting. I would have stayed invisible and used that as an opportunity to move my ship over by the Bayern into a kiting position. That's just me. Alright, the War Drums track is coming up, and that means that there's something close by. And there it is. Now, Franz von Hipper is using F3 to designate a target, telling people, hey guys, shoot this guy, and shoot him now. I would recommend, Hipper, that you launch at this point your catapult fighter, because as it swings around, it might just detect the torpedoes that the Farragut launches. That's kind of important. I have a strong feeling that this Bayern is going to die. Oh, look at that York. Switch to AP. Now! That York might have... Oh, no, never mind. He is moving. To say, he could have disconnected. You see right now, you are in a good position. You are actually firing for free at people. At this point, I would stop backing up. It looks like you have recognized that. Good. And the Hipper's turning away. Okay, so now... Or the York, I mean. So now AP doesn't matter. You're moving forward just a little bit to get yourself into some more cover. And what I would do right now is I would control-click on D3 and then now E3. I'd let that Bayer know, hey dude, you're in trouble. I'm surprised that oh, the Bayer did take torps. Must have. Look at how low his health is. Alright man, launch your scout plane, or your catapult fighter. And that New Mexico is probably going to go down too now. For shame. I should note that the Myoko can load hydroacoustic search as well, and that could be helpful. Okay, so Admiral Franz von Hipper has probably control-clicked on the squadrons. That adds a little bit of DPS. Saipan gets a detonation on the New Mexico. That is fun and engaging for all of us, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, so now that full squadron is gone. He is now control clicking on the torpedo bombers. Again, this is all good stuff. This is what you want to do. I would have launched that catapult fighter. That catapult fighter could have engaged maybe could have engaged the bomber, that last bomber, and gotten rid of them as they run. Probably also would have detected those torpedoes earlier. You're in good positioning right now to dodge those torpedoes. That's not a problem. A little bit assault by that New Mexico, but that's understandable. On the broadside, he lost in a tier 6 battle in a tier 8 game. He died. Okay, he's gonna have 10 Juliet Charlie flags coming his way to prevent him from detonating again for 10 games. If he wants to use them for that New Mexico, he could. Personally, I'd hold off on them and use them for ranked or clan battles or whatever. Back to the game. So, this flank is all but secured. Good. I don't know why the Saipan is where he is. The Saipan is over here. Now, their push is over here. Most carriers are going to want to park their carrier maybe here, here. At this point, those are safer positions than over here. If the Charles and Myoko get overrun, which they probably will based on the number of ships over here, guess what? The Saipan is the next thing that's going to get hit. So I would be communicating with my team right now, and I would be saying, guys, or yo, Mr. Saipan, you need to move your carrier. And a lot of carrier players, it's very easy to kind of not notice, in a sense, the situation. Because you're so busy controlling your aircraft, you aren't necessarily looking at where your carrier is itself, the actual ship. Again, catapult fighter, man, now you launch it. See, you could have possibly helped to save that Atago. The Atago looks like he'll be okay, though. He's going a lot faster. The carrier does not seem to know how to manual drop. That's good. Be careful, though, because those torpedoes might end up hitting you. Oh, there you go. Defensive fire. Good job. And those are gone. Nice. Maybe get a fighter or two as the process. So, Admiral Franz von Hipper did a smart thing there. He slowed down. He saw torpedoes. So many players do this where they think that torpedoes will fizzle out, burn out, whatever, and they don't. And then they get all those torpedoes and like, oh my god, how did that? And they only have themselves to blame because they just let the torpedoes hit. Famously, that's what's so hilariously troll about Shimakaze, is that the torpedoes last so long that people often forget to do something about that. And they'll just look at torpedoes that are spotted from halfway across the map and they'll say, alright. And then a few minutes later, the torpedoes just arrive and, whomp on them. Alright, so anyway, Admiral Franz von Hipper is doing a nice job of pushing ahead with the other two cruisers and the Benson. Personally, I would have turned around after this flank was won. I would have turned around and come back here. Again, you want to be in a kite position. They're chasing, you're kiting, you can pow, 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 and they can't really do as much because you're angled to them. That being said, this might end up being okay, we'll see. But that Myoko and Fubuki have Kagro to deal with, and so many other ships. The Saipan, by the way, has realized the error of his ways and has turned around. Smart. Atago is going to take a torp or two here. Took one. Oh! Took two more. Alright, anyways. Alright. So now, is it Atago time? Or is it carrier time? This is kind of smart at this point. I would probably agree. Don't be focused on the carrier. Focus on the major threats right now. AP, by the way. And you probably just realized it, said, oh crap. Too late to switch to AP now. The Otago's turning away, so I see what you're trying to do here. You're trying to go for a quick shot or two on the Saipan while he's still spotted. Maybe you can set him on fire and screw up with his launches. Maybe you can burn him down even if you get 2 successive fires. You're maneuvering very, very hard. I wouldn't do that as much. I know what you're trying to do here. Very smart. You're saying, all right, I need to be heading towards the cap, and still being able to match the speed of the Saipan. What I probably would have done is slow. I guess you're doing the right thing here. It's hard to tell, right? Because he was kind of on the edge of the. Jeez, it's kind of on the edge of detection there. The Tago is really low. You need to punish him. Hit the Otago. Good. The Saipan can wait. You've got defensive fire. That Otago is burning. That Otago is dead. Alright, control click the torpedo bombers, angle towards them, be ready to fire off your defensive fire. All those things very smart. Slowing down, he's slowing down because he knows that Mogami is coming up to him. Get a shot off and then start worrying about the planes. Or not. Good, turning into them, very smart. And at this point, I think it's possible the Saipan is out of aircraft. At least out of torpedo bombers. In which case, there's not too much of a need. Now, look on the bottom, the southern side. See that Myoko here? This Myoko probably did a lot of work. Benson's got 4 kills, almost to a Kraken. Myoko's got 1, but he is in a good position to do a lot of stuff over there. And you can see that the enemy team is all turned around, and they're all now focused on Mr. Admiral Franz von Hipper. Fire on the Saipan. I would probably shoot another salvo off at the Saipan just to try to keep him perma-fired. It's just me. Alright, what's going on here now? Got a little fighter action coming into place. Torpedo bombers coming back again. Good. By the way, you see how he switched to AP? He saw that broadside Pensacola and he wanted to punish him for it. Pensacola's turning away though, so now, oh look, there's another broadside cruiser you can punish. Turret's blown up, that's okay. And look at that, triple Citadel, folks. This is why you use AP in cruisers that are broadside to you. Anyway. Let's continue the battle and see what happens here. Another triple Citadel, and that ship is gone. That's all it took. Alright? Wow. This is why AP is so good in cruisers. And look, the York is even saying, hit me next, please, hit me next. So, I know what you're saying. Yeah, I'll hit you next, no problem. Look at that gunnery, guys. Nice job. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna take myself out of this battle for just a second here. I'm going to, by the way, look at that beautiful cell shade work there. It's good stuff. All right, we're going to, Can I get? Yes, I can. I want to get a screenshot here for our little title. Yeah, that looks good, huh? A lot of smoke. Yeah. All right. Play. Pause. I don't know. And look, another Citadel, another kill, just like that. And guess who's next? Alright, taking some screenshots here. Ah, that'll be a good one. I like that one. Alright, here we go. Let's finish things off. Just, oh, Pensacola. Oh, double strike. and Flash Food, and Confederate. We've got 2 of them. Nice job, sir. You saw what happened there. The Pensacola nailed him for his broadside. He gave a little bit too much. American armor-piercing shells from the higher tier cruiser starting at tier 7 are really, really good at digging in to armor. They have much better penetration than a standard cruiser. So you have to be careful because you feel like you're giving them or you're angling enough to them, and then you find out you're not. Now this carrier is going to get hit. No, maybe. The other Saipan didn't drop properly, in my opinion. He should have anticipated the turn and turned more. He didn't. That happens. But this is a win. Why is it a win? It's because of what Admiral Franz von Hipper did, right? Because he managed to go into the cap and he picked up the pieces from the rest of the team after they went down. He took out 3 cruisers at the end there, and that pretty much was game. Meanwhile, let's also recognize that his team properly held this flank against the enemy push. If they had failed, Hipper up here wouldn't have been able to do much to help out his team, and it could have been a loss. So you have to be careful with that. It's good that he went up and he got in the cap and distracted the team and forced them to come back. But there is also the possibility that the real possibility that he wouldn't have managed to impact the game as directly as he did. That's the beauty of randoms, though, right? You can never really tell what people are going to do, how they're going to react, and as such, you can end up with pretty awesome games like that. I'm willing to bet his heart was pounding just a little bit at the end there. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see any torpedoes launched or any of that, but that's all right. In the end, it was good. So, guys, I want to say thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, like, subscribe, whatever, all that good stuff. Feel free to comment. Please send me replays. I want to show off as many games as I can. Any ship, any tier, I don't care if it's an amazing game. I don't care if it's a mediocre game. As a matter of fact, mediocre games are sometimes the better ones because I can really kind of get in there and try to help, you learn what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong. So, that being said, thanks a lot for watching. We're going to watch the Saipan explode, and then we're done. Boom!